It is 10:43 at night, and the house is technically quiet, but tomorrow is already scattered across the sofa, the sink, the phone, and the kitchen counter. In many homes, the evening ends by escaping the mess. The problem is that the mess does not disappear. It waits for you in the morning. A Chinese-inspired evening reset does not ask you to deep clean the house at bedtime. It asks for 10 quiet minutes that close today before tomorrow begins. Chinese daily life is far too varied for one universal bedtime routine. A retired couple in Chengdu, a student in Shanghai, and a family in Queens may end the day very differently. But many Chinese households value a simple idea that Americans can borrow safely. The day is not finished until the shared spaces are returned to a usable state. So we translated the idea into a realistic American test. 10 minutes, one timer, no closet overhaul, no perfect routine, and no pretending bedtime starts at 8 p.m. The rule is not to finish everything. The rule is to remove the first layer of morning friction. What you see, what you step over, what you search for, and what you regret leaving out. Minute 1 begins with a pause. Not a list, not a lecture. Just standing in the room and asking, what would make tomorrow feel less hostile? Rule 1 is return what already has a home. This is the least dramatic habit in the routine, and that is why it works. Rule 2 is close the kitchen, not clean the whole kitchen. A rinsed cup, a wiped spill, and one pan soaking can change how the morning greets you. Rule 3 is prepare the first object of the morning, not the whole day. Just the one object you always need before your brain is fully awake. 10 minutes later, the home is not perfect, but it is no longer arguing with tomorrow. That small difference is the entire point. The power of an evening reset is that it respects low energy. At night, most people do not need ambition. They need a routine small enough to actually do. That is why this routine starts with visible surfaces instead of hidden storage. You are not reorganizing your life. You are changing the first picture your eyes will see tomorrow. Start with the return basket. Walk through one room and collect only the items that already have an obvious place. If the object does not have a home, do not solve that problem tonight. Put it in one small, undecided spot and keep moving. This protects the routine from turning into a midnight organization project. The evening reset is a gate, not a renovation. In many Chinese homes, shared spaces often carry a strong sense of return. Bowls return to the kitchen, slippers return to the doorway, and the table returns to being ready for the next use. The American version can be just as simple. Remote to tray, shoes to door, mail to one pile, dishes to sink, bag to hook. The second zone is the kitchen, because the kitchen is where morning resentment often begins. Chinese cooking routines often reward cleaning during pauses, while water heats, while rice rests, while tea steeps, or while a pan soaks. At bedtime, that becomes a 3-step close. Rinse what will smell, soak what will harden, wipe what will greet you first. Do not scrub every pot. Do not mop the floor. The goal is to prevent the kitchen from becoming the first emotional tax of the day. Some people like to end the reset with warm water or tea, not as a cure for anything, but as a physical signal that the active part of the day is closing. The drink is optional. The signal matters more than the cup. Your body learns that the house is moving from doing to resting. The third zone is the doorway. In many homes, the entryway decides whether tomorrow starts smoothly or with a search party. Chinese households that use indoor slippers often make the transition visible. Outside shoes stop, indoor life begins, and the threshold has a job. You do not need to copy the exact shoe habit. You can copy the principle. Make the first step into tomorrow obvious. Now choose one object that has betrayed you before. Glasses, keys, medication organizer, lunch container, work badge, charger, or the permission slip nobody remembered. Set that object where tomorrow you cannot miss it. This is not laziness. It is design. The fourth zone is the phone. A reset can fail if the phone turns 10 minutes into 45. Try this rule. The phone can play music or a timer, but it does not get to become the evening. 10 minutes is short enough to tolerate and long enough to change the feeling of a room. If you live with other people, the reset should not become one person's punishment. Give everyone one tiny closing job. In many Chinese family settings, household rhythm is shared through repeated small expectations, not always through long explanations. The American adaptation is simple. One person handles the cups, one handles the sofa, one handles the doorway, and nobody gives a speech. The fifth rule may be the most important. Stop when the timer ends. A routine that expands every night will eventually be avoided. Stopping is what keeps the habit trustworthy. Your brain learns that 10 minutes really means 10 minutes. If you still have energy, write tomorrow's one real priority. If you do not, skip it. The reset should support sleep, not steal it. The routine works because it reduces decisions at the weakest time of day. You are not asking tired you to become a new person. You are giving tired you fewer choices. A clear counter, a ready bag, and a visible key tray are small things. But small things are exactly what a rushed morning trips over. That is the difference between waking into yesterday's leftovers and waking into a room that gives you a small head start. For 7 nights, do not change your whole evening. Just set a timer and use this order. Visible surfaces, kitchen close, doorway, one morning object, stop. Night 1 will feel awkward. That is normal. You are building a closing ritual in a house that is used to staying open. Night 2 will be faster because the same objects will appear in the same places. By night 3, you may notice the real habit, not cleaning, but noticing earlier. By night 4, the routine can shrink. If the room is already decent, spend the extra minutes setting up breakfast, tea, or tomorrow's shoes. By night 5, you may see which objects do not have a real home. That is useful information, but it is not tonight's job. By night 6, the reset may become a family cue. People start putting things away because the room itself is asking for closure. By night 7, the question is simple. Does tomorrow feel easier when tonight ends with a small return? The first mistake is making the reset too beautiful. If it requires matching baskets, special labels, or a perfect aesthetic, it will fail on a normal Wednesday. The second mistake is starting too late. If you are already half asleep, choose a 2-minute version and protect the habit. The third mistake is treating one missed night as failure. A useful routine is allowed to restart. This is not about claiming that Chinese homes are always tidy, or American homes are always chaotic. Every culture has orderly people, tired people, busy people, and homes in progress. The useful part is the principle. Return the shared space to readiness before the day completely closes. If 10 minutes still feels too much, try the 3-object version. 1 dish, 1 surface, 1 morning item. That tiny version is not cheating. It is the seed of the larger routine. The next morning, you should notice one thing first. Not perfection, but absence. No search, no sticky counter, no first step irritation. That absence is easy to underestimate because nothing dramatic happened. But a calm morning often begins with something that did not go wrong. Tonight, do not wait for motivation. Set a timer after dinner or before bed, and choose the smallest useful version. If your home is messy, begin with 1 room. If 1 room feels too much, begin with 1 surface. If the kitchen is overwhelming, rinse 1 cup and wipe 1 visible spill. If your mornings are chaotic, prepare the object you always lose. Then stop. Let the small wins stay small. The point is to make tomorrow easier, not to prove your worth with housework. The 10-minute reset has 5 parts. Return what has a home, close the kitchen, prepare 1 morning object, park the phone, and stop on time. Borrow the rhythm, not a fantasy. Make it fit your home, your energy, your family, and your real bedtime. A calmer morning is rarely created in the morning. It is usually protected the night before. If you try it tonight, notice which object changes your morning the most. Was it the keys, the kitchen, the phone, or the cleared surface? Tell us which one you would choose, because the best routines are often built from the smallest irritations. Tonight does not have to end perfectly. It only has to end in a way that gives tomorrow a little more room to breathe.